say that the clout is tied to the money for DDG. Like his whole career has been about clout.
For sure. Like clout equals money for him, at least, not for everyone, but he's able to cash in his clout for money. You know what I'm saying? So it does mean a lot. So DDG is crashing out on blogs now. Video by Hello Yassine Extras. So I wonder what's going on, why he's crashing out on blogs. I don't know. I saw that he was beefing with Bruce. Maybe that's part of it. Let's see.
What's poppin', y'all? Yo, people say money is the root of all evil. I think it's because back then in biblical times, they did not have clout. Clout is the biggest silent killer of this generation because DDG...
That might be facts. Clout has caused a lot of people's downfall. At least the addiction to it. You know what I'm saying? So he might be spitting with that one.
DDG is overdosing on clout right now. He just put out a clip threatening blog pages if they don't speak about him in a way that he deems to be appropriate. Let me run you guys the clip real quick.
Nah, I'm finna start suing these because at this point this is just it's causing emotional distress.
Shazam!
I can't deal with it no more. So all these blog pages that continue to push these narratives about me, I'm going to start sending out cease and desist, and I will sue you. I have the money to do so, and I know you don't have the money to defend yourself. I will sue you, okay? If you do not abide by my paperwork that will be sent to you, okay? I will sue you. I don't give if you got to cheese it and a penny in your pocket. I want it. I would spend $30,000 to get that cheese and that penny out your pocket. All right? Send that to all the blogs. Okay? All right. It's
bro sending out a warning. You gotta speak correct on him now, or else suffer the consequences.
On the way. Okay? You boys getting sued. Yeah.
So the way that this started is hilarious. Number one, we're going to get into why this is a terrible, terrible idea, and it has never worked in the past. We're going to get into that later. But how did this all start? Well, it started by DDG with a Father's Day post on Twitter. He said, "Happy Father's Day to all the active dads worldwide." And this is I wouldn't say it's gonna drum up controversy, but it's gonna drum up conversation because DDG doesn't get to see his son on Father's Day. His son Halo that he had with Halle Bailey, the Disney star. She's a musician / singer too, but really she's more of an actress in the past 5 or so years. And what happens? An account called Pop Tings that posts about pop culture quote tweets him and says, "So not you?" And I know.
Dang. That's crazy. That's crazy. I think they just wanted to get their name out there. I'm gonna be real. They just want to get their name out there, you know? But that's actually wild. They had some cojones on them for doing that, you feel me? I mean, obviously, it's like bro said, you feel me? Clout, you know, the addiction to clout is the root of all evil. That's what he was saying. He might have been saying something with that, you feel me? Because this statement right here, that was definitely for clout. Let's keep it a beam. That was most definitely for clout. Yeah, it was for clout. Obviously.
Know that this had to pierce DDG through the heart because this is one of the most vicious, ruthless, just absolute destructive ratios I've ever seen. Like this,
I mean, let's be real. It was low-hanging fruit. It really was. Like, it wasn't like it was super clever or anything. It was such an easy thing to say. Everybody knows the situation that's going on with bro right now. It was low-hanging fruit. If they didn't say it, somebody else was just going to say it. So, it is what it is.
This is DDG's original tweet got 37K likes. This quote tweet got 190,000 likes and 8.2 million views. Now, I know a lot of people Me personally, I don't care about a damn ratio. Like, what the hell? I really don't. I think the whole concept is quite stupid. It's like, hey, a bunch of other people agree with me, so you're wrong. Yeah, that's worked very well in the past.
I do
Also,
not know what ratio means. I just don't. Even with the explanation that he just gave, I still don't understand it.
so if someone's got a more active community on social media, they're going to ratio you anyway. Regardless, the reason why I bring this up is because DDG worships the altar of clout and money. But I would say he cares a lot more about clout than money. And I would venture as far as to say that the clout is tied to the money for DDG. Like his whole career has been about
Yeah,
clout.
for sure. Like, clout equals money, for him at least. Not for everyone. But he's able to cash in his clout for money. You know what I'm saying? So it does mean a lot.
Or his whole career, the more popular he got, the more clout he got, the more money he got. So there's like this 1-to-1 relation. They're moving in a parallel line, in a linear fat one.
Which it should. It really should. If you have more clout than money, then you're doing something wrong. Now, if you have more money than clout, you're really winning. If you have more money and clout, you're really winning, to be honest. Because clout definitely has its detriments. But more money, I don't think anybody would turn that down.
Well, not linear because there have been times where he's dipped. And his response to this was, "You a wannabe pop base. You're irrelevant. I can cash app you the worth of this page. Your dad hasn't been active since you came out the closet, and that's not right. I support the LGBT community." This is just verbal diarrhea.
So is this a person? I do not know who this is.
Like, what is...
Dang, but why did he? I mean, I know why he spazzed, but that was crazy. He didn't have to. He shouldn't have paid that no attention. He shouldn't have paid that no attention.
We don't even know if the person running this is a girl, if it's a boy, if it's a man, if it's a woman.
Yeah, that's why I'm thinking. Like, we don't even. Maybe he does. Maybe.
What does him coming out the closet have to do with his dad? We don't even know if the person or her dad. And then he says, like, I support the LGBT community. Like, what is this? I just don't even get it. And even DDG's own fans, like, they're in the comments like, yo, you're embarrassing, dog. And somebody says, you're asking to get ratioed again. And then, well, you know what happens next? He says, not, or he or she says, not I hit a nerve crying emoji, and he gets ratioed again. This time with 153,000 likes. Yo, it's bad. And then how does DDG respond to this? He goes on to say, somebody find that Pop Ting's email. I'm finna have my lawyer write up something. And they just gave him the email. But this is loser activity. Now, you know how a lot of people, when DDG first started rapping, they're like, man, this guy's corny. This guy's lame. Some people say, like, yo, money really amplifies who you are. Listen, we are happy for DDG's success. Like, I'm happy for DDG's success. Like, the guy got it out the mud. He was a clown in streaming.
Bro's a pioneer. He's a pioneer. He literally, like, you know, he's an OG in the game for black content creators and the YouTube space. You know, he's one of the OGs. You know what I'm saying? So definitely, most people, I think, are very happy for the success that he has attained and that he's basking in currently. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I think a lot of people are happy for him right now.
And Bruce Drop Him Off was clowning him. And not because his streams were clownish or because his behavior was clownish. It was the fact that his numbers weren't hitting. And this was somebody that talked about numbers a lot. And at the time, like, if you think about who was popping on YouTube in the era of DDG, how many of them are still here? Not only that, how many of them are more popular than they have ever been? Currently, DDG is the most popular that he's ever been in history, for better or for worse. And I know he loves that. So for him to see himself get ratioed like this, it's got to hurt him. And it's just some random faceless account, it's really got to hurt him. But to react, and then he brings money into the conversation where it's like, what does money have to do with...
Did Ray just clamp him up? Is that what I just saw?
Anything? Like they're talking about, they're cracking jokes. So for you to sue somebody for cracking jokes when you do the same thing, you've done the same thing, is just lame. And I think it's
I mean, he might have been in an emotional state. He was dealing with a personal situation, not being able to see his son on Father's Day. You know, maybe he just wasn't at his best. You know, it's possible. Bro was probably just emotional at the time.
it's because DDG's got this lawyer on retainer, so they're depleting him, and he's just like, yo, how do I get this legal team to do other stuff for me so I can justify paying them the amount that I'm paying them per month? But this isn't going to work out in his favor because the fact that this got so many likes means that there are a lot of people that don't mess with DDG. And if, or not don't mess with him, but they find it funny to laugh at his situation. Maybe they do think he's a deadbeat, whatever the case may be. There's a lot of people that don't like him.
I think it's a mixture of both. Some people don't like him. Other people just find the situation funny. It is what it is.
But if he starts throwing cease and desist, the people do not mess with this. DDG, yeah, you got money, but what's money compared to a digital army? Like, you don't know. Like, people will raise hell on your life. People will run down on you in real life, not like harming you physically, but they'll heckle you. They'll be in your streams. They'll be in your comment sections. They'll heckle your family because you silencing people. People hate this. If you're a public figure and you receive some criticism, and in this case, they're not slandering DDG. This page is not slandering him. They're just like, oh, so not you? They're not saying, oh, DDG chose not to visit his son Halo because he would rather, I don't know, he would rather stream or something like that. And even that wouldn't necessarily be slander or something that people would find you justified in taking down. Like, for instance, if they said, like, yo, DDG, like, punched his kid, that's a different story. I think people would be willing to say, oh, okay, like, yo, you can't just post outright fake news about the guy. But for this, for a little old joke, you just hurt and in your feelings. And even when rappers do this who are like, people don't mess with it. And they're like, yo, what's going on with that? Like T Grizzly had a situation with the YouTuber, which I think is far more nuanced than what's going on with DDG right now. It's also happened in the past where a certain lawyer was taking down videos on this rapper by the name of Tokyo's Revenge. If you know, you know. If you remember that era, people did not mess with that. And what have we seen from Tokyo's Revenge? Nothing. We haven't seen it. He disappeared into obscurity. Don't know where he's at. Don't know what he's doing. Crazy thing is, his music is still streaming, which just goes to show, if you can just have a run of 6 to 9 months in this music game, you can really set yourself up for life. Like, that guy hasn't dropped since, well, he started dropping some songs here and there. I think they were features, but that guy hasn't dropped a project since 2020, and he's still making a bag, especially if he's independent. I don't know, but yeah, that whole situation. So DDG, this is not a good look, but it just goes to show, like, yo, the DDG of last year, would he be behaving like this? I don't think so. The DDG of last 6 months wouldn't be behaving like this. So the power, not really, he doesn't really have power. The clout and the perceived power that he believes he has because of this clout and this money that he now has, he's trying to leverage it to what? Do what you're saying Rock Nation is doing to you. So you're saying Rock Nation is trying to come after you, and they're trying to slander you, and they're trying to silence you. Meanwhile, you're using the same money that you have, which is albeit far, far, far less, to try and do it to a page that's cracking jokes and just giving people pop updates. Really? You could have just ignored it because people, your fans, don't care about this. And just because you're lit doesn't mean that everybody's on your side. Like, you're lit for entertainment, which is different than when you were lit for vlogs. Like, when you were vlogging, people really, really wanted you to win. Now it's a mixture of they want to see you entertain them. But if you're waving around like money in particular, because a lot of the people that watch you, they don't have money. They're normal people. So you start throwing it around like, yo, you're broke. I could buy you. I could do this. Like, I'm just going to sue you for whatever you have. Nah, that's not going to fly. Because we saw the lawsuit actually pan out with a creator and a popular person, which was Cardi B. And what this individual did was actually put out fake, harmful, damaging stuff. Not emotional distress because I got ratioed and they called me a bad father. Really? That lady, Tasha K, was saying that Cardi B had an STD. And Cardi B asked her to remove it multiple times. And she kept doubling down and tripling down on putting out that fake news with no proof. And then the lawsuit happened. And that took who knows how many years. DDG's not going through all that. DDG can't afford to go through all that for that many years. He's got to handle trying to get his son back. So I think this was whack by DDG. But this behavior is... He's exhibiting this behavior a lot more. There's another video that I'm about to make where he doesn't do a similar thing to here, but you're like, yo, this guy's talking a lot different than he was talking 6 months ago. And the only thing that's changed is the clout and maybe some more money. Well, a lot more money. But it's the clout that's skyrocketed. But let me know what y'all think about this in the comments. Like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell.
I mean, he's also gotten more hate than he's ever gotten before as well. You know what I'm saying? Like, yes, he's gotten more clout, more money, more success. He's gotten all these things recently. But with all of that, he's gotten more controversy, more hate, and more drama. You know what I'm saying? So, we don't know the mental toll that could be having on him. I did see him say that he's done being humble. He's done, he's done letting people talk down on him. Obviously I'm paraphrasing, but I saw a video of him saying all that. And obviously that was because bro's been receiving a lot more hate than he has ever, probably, recently. You know what I'm saying? So because of that, we could just see, this could just be how bro's dealing with it. I'm not saying it's right or wrong. Ultimately, it's up to him whether or not this is the right or wrong way, and it's up to the results that come from these actions. If it works on his benefit, he could say, yeah, I made the right choice. If it ends up hurting him, then he can be like, yeah, this wasn't the right way to handle things. And I think he does know, ultimately, that he doesn't have to engage with a lot of haters, because at the end of the day, that's just a part of life and a part of the game. You're going to get hate in some shape or form. But at the end of the day, he is human, so he does have a limit to how much he could take. No matter how thick your skin is, at some point, you're going to want to respond. You're going to want to address the negative things that people are saying about you. You know what I'm saying? It's just natural. It just is. So I think that's what's going on. Personally, I think with this situation, like him saying, oh yeah, I'm about to start saying a lot of cease and desist or whatever the case may be, I think those are empty threats.
Well, if you enjoyed.
Yeah. I think those are empty threats. Personally. I think he's just saying that so that people chill out, because we saw Shade Room was having a slander fest on him. They were just slandering his name and stuff like that. I think he's just saying all of that to discourage anybody from doing it, not that he's actually going to go through with it. But ultimately, time will tell. I can't speak for him. I don't know what's going on in his head. Wish him the best, of course. So we just have to wait and see at the end of the day. But shout out to Hello Yassine for making this video. It's a cool little video. And yeah, man, make sure to subscribe to the channel. Like the video if you enjoyed it. You feel me? Turn on post notifications, all that good stuff. And it's your boy signing out. Bye.